So this is the second part where Nigerian Senator Natasha Akpabio continued to expose the Nigerian Senate President Godswill Akpabio following her sexual harassment. In this particular video, she went ahead to expose all the people the Nigerian Senate President has used to make sure that she doesn't get justice after her sexual harassment claims against him. Despite being her husband's best friend, it didn't stop the Nigerian Senate president to make advances on her. On her refusal, he decided to victimize her as a senator and deprive her of a lot of privileges. You won't believe everything Natasha said in this video, so make sure you see this video if this is the video or the story you're interested in, because Natasha went ahead to expose even more details. I feel like if Nigeria is a sane country, after watching and seeing all she revealed in this interview, especially moments where she shared how Godswill Akpabio has used people, to tarnish her image, especially one Professor Mweke who claimed that Natasha Akpoti told her that there was never a sexual harassment, that it was just a plot to bring down the Senate president. Natasha has come out with evidence to see that Akpabio was the one sponsoring Professor Mweke and several other people, including the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. This is very shocking. Well, I would like to just watch it and let us know your own opinion in the comments below. The video credit goes to Adeola Fayehun, Nigerian journalist based in the United States.
And in talking about Sandra Duru, the most important thing that Nigerians would like to know, myself included, first and foremost, did you speak with Sandra Duru? Did you guys speak? Like, what's going on? Let's start from there.
Thanks a lot, Adeola. I know this is the most desired question, and everybody watching the all ears now. Yes. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I would say that categorically, I did not speak with Dr. Sandra Duru, but I did speak with Professor Mbeke as she presented herself. And let me take you back.
It's the same person.
I got to know that it's one and the same person after her broadcast. Let me take you back. And I have, if you don't mind, the screenshot of the entire chats. If you don't mind putting that up so that I can speak to it.
You sent me a screenshot of your chat with her, but I'm also trying to make sure that the address of what's it called? Hold on, I just want to make sure that no address is showing.
So you want to blur the addresses?
Yes. So you speak.
Okay, let me speak. So in the morning at about 10 o'clock on the 27th of March, a dear friend of mine, Ina Agu, who I've known for the past 10 years. Last I saw him was 4 years ago, but we've always maintained contact. He's been very involved and concerned with the developments. So he reached out to me in the morning. I was tending to my garden, and he said, Natasha, there's someone I would like you to speak to. She's been doing a whole lot of publications in support of your cause. I said, who? He said, Professor Mbeke, Professor on Facebook. I was like, okay, I've seen one or two of her posts in my support. And I think I did like and make a comment on it. He said, yes, that he did reach out to her. And then he was like, you know what, encouraged her and all of that stuff. And said, okay, if I should please call her and tell her thank you. My friend had connected me to a number of people in the past. Whenever he saw anyone grant an interview, he'll call me, oh, Natasha, I have this person's number, just say thank you. So people will feel appreciated and valued. I said, okay. So he did call the number out. That was about 10:30 in the morning on the 27th of March. So I called the phone. Hello, Professor Mbeke. She was like, hi, this is it. I told her, thank you so much for lending your voice to this cause. She said it doesn't really matter because she's a woman. She's been sexually harassed before. Her daughter was also sexually harassed. She connected with me and she wasn't doing it for me alone. She was doing it for, the bigger vision, all Nigerian women and women around the world. Conversations went on. But basically, the conversations were not all that she put out or what she said. And before you run down the chats, the screen, I did send you the video of all the conversations, and I appreciate if you publish it for Nigerians to read. But
I will.
while we were speaking, she told me she was a professor of psychology. I had no reason to doubt because, come on, I like to believe people on the face value of what they present themselves to be. If she says she's a professor, okay, she's a professor. I mean, I suppose to know that she is Professor Mbeke is just a moniker. It's just a decoy of who she truly is. And yeah, she did say she was a professor of psychology, and I was like, oh, to myself, this is who I am. I ran her through my credentials as well. She said she's affiliated with a number of international organizations, United Nations, WHO, UNICEF for Children, and many others. I was like, okay. She said she was going to use her platform to draw attention on this matter of sexual harassment, and that if I had any other addresses, so that she would also write to them through her organization. I was like, okay, so while we're on the call, if you can publish that, I think it is important I speak to the chat messages. So that was when I did send to her the first two contacts, which is the Senate President's counterpart in London and the Speaker of the Commonwealth, that, okay, while you're writing to your United Nations and other international organizations,
I was
you can
blur
also...
those organizations. I wasn't able to blur their address. Is that okay with you?
Maybe just... Okay, so but how will you... But I want you to put...
organizations.
But will you put the video? I want you to put the remainder of the chat, because if you can't, then maybe you want me to do a screenshot. Maybe you start from...
Sorry, I just uploaded the wrong one. That's not it.
Oh, that's one of the posts she had previously written in my support.
Okay, so let me... What's this one? So I'm not able to blur.
But maybe you can skip that part so they'll know that, okay, that's what it is.
Okay. Let's see if we can skip that part. Okay, awesome. Sorry. Please keep talking. I'm having trouble inputting it, but it would work. This is where we rebuke the devil.
I wanted to share something.
And you know, one of the reasons that I'm glad that you sent this is because a lot of people would also like to know, why did you delete your conversation with her? Because she put up
we're going to get to that. That's why I want you to show the entire... I want you to show the entire video, the screenshot. But what might have to happen, since we want to take away the addresses of the first... Yeah, you've showed it already. Yeah, okay, so we start from here. Yeah. No, just stop. Please go back a bit up, a little bit to the top. Yeah. You can say it's Professor Mbeke, to the best of my knowledge that I spoke with, as she presented herself. It's just like you now, Adeola. If I've known you as Adeola, you can't come tomorrow. I saw you're Cynthia. Because at that point, I was speaking pretty much on the phone. My phone was always buzzing between the lawyers and Nigerians of goodwill. I spoke to a lot of people. So in my mind, I saved her name as Professor Mbeke. But that wasn't the DP she had at that time. The DP has changed anyway. It was a white dress she was wearing. But it's still an AI generated. I didn't know it was an AI generated video. Like I said, I trusted her on face value. So just before then, she sent me, after I forwarded her the gentleman, the contacts that she said she was going to send letters to, because she's affiliated with United Nations and many international organizations that promote women's rights and all of that. So if I had any contacts that she should write to, I should forward. So I said, okay, fine. You can as well draw the attention of the Speaker of the UK Parliament and the Commonwealth. That was why I sent that. After all, she told me she had written books, and that these books would also speak to the situation at hand. I was like, okay, she sent me this forward. It's only later on in the course of things I got to know that the books she says she's written are also AI written books. But anyway, that's for her to decide or whatever. So just scroll down a bit.
Okay, so we can just play it.
Yeah, so after that, in the course of our conversation, that was me sending to her the I think that was a letter during the return, my return. That was the document, the letter, the Kogi Central Political Frontier. We did speak about that. So I told her that, look, this does not exist. We run a CAC check, and this Kogi Central Political Frontier, as a body that was used to recall me, did not have a legal bearing because it was not registered. So that was what we spoke about. Mind you, it was on the phone, so we're kind of communicating through that. I'm just letting you know the nature of the conversation. So you see that it does not, what she's saying that I said does not even add up at all. That also, I can forward to you what that was, is my petition, my lawyer's petition to INEC. That was what I sent there. So later on, she did say that she had a message. She reached out to my friend, Ina Okoli, that she didn't want to speak to him on blah, 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 that she was an independent person pursuing justice. I didn't really understand where this came from because at that point we had finished talking. So I didn't, so when she said that, I didn't really understand that. So I think I tried to call her, but she didn't pick up. You can scroll down to see. Please play it further. No, just let it run through. Yeah, you can see that I didn't really understand where that my friend stopped. So here, also part of the conversations we had, now please pause here. Part of the conversations we had was the manner in which Senator Nweboyi went all out, castigating me and demeaning me on all the news platforms. So at that point, I told her that I didn't like the fact that I am constantly being reduced and objectified as just a beautiful woman or, you know, a pretty face, that I would like people to look at me as a technocrat, a woman who is well schooled, who is competent, who is a senator, that when men are are conversing, men don't go, oh, I'm going to engage you because you are well built. I'm going to engage you because you are handsome. Men don't do that. So if you're speaking to me as a lawyer, as an MBA executive, as a senator, speak to me on my competencies and not because I'm beautiful. So that was where she now said, oh, you are a lawyer? And I was like, yes, of course. I ran her through. I'm a lawyer. I have my MBA in oil and gas management. My formative years in my career were spent in the oil and gas sector. So I did run her through that. So at that point, she said, she's impressed. That do I have my credentials? I said, yes, I do have my credentials, which I already made public in the year 2019. And it's actually in the media space. She said I should please forward my credentials to her, together with this screenshot from News Central Instagram page, that she was going to make a post along the line of identifying a woman on competences and not a pretty face. So that was where I sent this. And if you look at it, there are 15 items. Just scroll up again so that people will see. All of this, which, hold on, just pause there. There are about 15 of them in total. They were all my credentials. They were sent in. I dropped them in at the same time. It's like when you drop pictures or PDF files, they all land at the same time. Contrary to what she said on her live, that this were when I was chatting her up and offering her 200 million to blackmail Akpabio. That is not true. Nobody can type 15 messages and the same in 1 minute. It's not possible. I don't even think AI will do that, however fast and smart it is. So these 15 documents, Adeola, I'm going to forward them to you. You'll see.
So everything came in at 12:40 on my screen.
My own time, 12:40. But if you look at her own message, it was 6 6:40, I think, if you look at it, because when she did her own, I saw the screenshot. Remember, she's in Texas. They are like 6 hours
Okay,
behind
so
us.
you are
So
saying
from
that
my
the messages that she said you deleted, you are saying that they were actually your credentials
my
that you sent
credentials,
to her.
look at them. I've sent, hold on.
So
I've
why
sent them
did you?
to you. I'm getting there. Look at them. These are my credentials. There were 15 of them from that's my primary school certificate. From my primary school certificate, my testimonial. This is it. My secondary school, Federal Government College, Idoani. You'll see it there. This were University of Abuja, Nigeria Law School, NYSC, CAPMLP, that's University of Dundee, Aberdeen, had a program there, and many other. This is INSEAD, my MBA. Okay, this is still INSEAD, IHRDC in Boston, because I did mention that I have quite a lot of. So I've sent everything to you anyway. It's in your phone right now. But that's what I published. That's it. And you know one thing, the beauty is that I just got back from the US because I was there to also see how we could further some of this, because I really am going to get to the bottom of this. And I'm told that in matters, I believe if WhatsApp is contacted, they can be able to extract these deleted items, because they did have it happen on their platform. So we're hoping that in the course of the litigations, they'll be able to extract. But I'm just letting Nigerians should just understand that it was in the course of our conversation where she wanted to make a post putting side by side Senator Nwabo's statement. If you look at it up there, where he said, does Natasha think she's one of the most beautiful women in Nigeria? So, and I told her that I didn't like the fact that women have been reduced or objectified. Speak to me as a competent individual, a technocrat. And that was why I told her about my academic, qualifications, and she said, okay, I should forward it. So this were all, that's why they all dropped at the same time. When you drop bulk messages in pictorial forms or PDF or whatever, they land the same time. It's impossible. Yeah, that's it. That's why this is what I sent to her. My work, certificates, everything. So yeah.
Some people may ask, why did you delete the messages?
So let's proceed. So after that, I didn't hear from Sandra. Let's go back to the text messages. Yeah. Okay. Aha. Look at the time. That was 12:40. So then at about, let me go back so I can read from my own space here. Yeah. This is it on my phone. So just to let you know that I want to read it as well from here, since we'll be. Okay. So this is it from my own phone. That's the screenshot. And then this is where we are here. Okay, so now, then after about 4 hours, she sent this first message asking for a contract and asking how I was going to take care of her and her team.
So let me read
Let's read it. This is very important. It's important Nigerians read this, because this is where things got interesting. Mind you, the 37 minutes we spoke had nothing to do with contracts, had nothing to do with I'm engaging. I never told her there was nothing like sexual harassment, that I'm all set out to destroy Tinubu's Yoruba government, that I called Nigeria gullible and hungry, that I paid Dr. Obi Ezekwesili money to carry on the advocacy, that what did she say? I was going to poison my husband.
You called her useful idiot.
That I called Frida useful idiot. Never, ever, ever. And I'm actually glad in a way that she is a witness in this federal government suit, because she has to testify on everything. She must provide evidence that is going to be subjected to verification. Because you see, there's a limit. I don't know. I've listened to some of these audios. What she did in a way is so funny. Like, apparently the way I'm speaking to you over the on here now sounds differently from when I'm speaking to you in person, or when I grant an interview, or when I speak to you over the phone. So what she probably did was get how I sounded over the phone, of course. And then she released one part where I mentioned about working in brass LNG and all, of course. But then she used some AI to now generate other parts that I didn't speak of. But again, I don't know what else she has in stock, but I'm challenging her. And like I said, I just returned from the US. I'm in London now, but I'm going to be in Nigeria for the arraignment on the 3rd, because I have done no wrong. I'm not going to run away. The 3rd of June has been fixed 2 p.m. So I'm going to be there to defend myself fully in person. But also, I'm letting Nigerians know that this is not going to go down this easy, because people can't wake up one day and just cook up stories and manipulate and use whatever technology they think they can access just to defend the person. No, I'm saying it clearly now before the world. I never said there was no sexual harassment. I never said I'm out to destroy Tinubu's Yoruba government. I'm not one. People who know me will know that I am not a tribalist, and I respect and appreciate every tribe in Nigeria, every ethnicity. I mean, who am I? I'm half Ukrainian, half Nigerian. Who am I to talk about tribes when I'm actually one part of the other world? So that's not my nature. That's not my language. And if anybody said that, that's probably her team. The people who are sponsors were the ones that put those words to her, because they knew that I had and I enjoyed a lot of support from Nigerians, not just in Kogi State, across the country, even in diaspora. So, and he also knows, the Senate president also knows, that I enjoy to a large extent a good relationship with the president himself, even though I have never said it in the open. But I'm saying it now. And that actually annoyed him, because there was a time that the Senate president told my husband, I was like, "Are you aware your wife goes to see the president?" And my husband was like, "Yes, I'm aware. Whenever she has critical issues to raise, like before I brought up the Jakarta's probe, I did meet with Mr. President to make sure that he knew the nature of that, and was okay with it." So, and other things I have met in person. So I do not have a hostile relationship with the president, even though I'm in opposition. I keep telling people, the people of Kogi Central voted me to work as a senator, not to go out there, antagonize and create enmity. And neither is also important for me, people to know that my issues are with the Senate president himself, not the Nigerian Senate, not the institutions, and not the presidency. But it's unfortunate that he's wielding things to entrap all the institutions to attack me. But like I said, it's important. I'm glad you've given me this chance to tender things. But let's go back to the text now. What followed? People want to know, why did I delete my credentials from her page? So let's go back. The message she wrote there, after 4 hours of our conversation, she went, "Dear Senator Natasha, I hope this message finds you well." No, please go back. No, still scroll up. Yeah. "I hope this message finds you well. I would like to understand how you would like me to proceed in assisting with your case," mind you, the sexual harassment case, "including the specific outcomes you intend to achieve and the timeline you have in mind. Additionally, please let me know if you would like to formally engage my services or support my team in executing the strategy we have carefully put together to resolve this matter effectively." Now, Nigerians should pause and listen. Just let's think. If actually she said that what I deleted was me offering her 200 million to blackmail the Senate president, why is she talking about resolving this matter effectively? Or was she, if I had castigated the presidency, talked about destroying the Yoruba tribe or the Yoruba government, then subsequent messages from her should have been in tune of what we had discussed. But here she's presenting herself as a mediator. She wanted to assume a role of mediating between the Senate president and myself on sexual harassment. And then she was asking for a contract. Please, let's continue. Then she said further in the second paragraph, please feel free to speak with me confidentially. I value discretion and professionalism. I would prefer to handle matters directly rather than through intermediaries. I don't know who the intermediaries are, maybe my friend who introduced us. For this reason, I have not shared any details with the individual who contacted me regarding a media appearance on your behalf. I approach cases differently, maintaining strict boundaries to ensure the best possible outcome. Let me know how you would like to proceed. I am here to support you. Please, can you scroll down? She wrote all nice. Let people see the last part. I'm here to support you. Just pause there. If actually I called her and I was poaching her to bring down the government, to destroy people, to destroy the Senate president, I've called Nigerians gullible and hungry. So why was she being patronizing and nice? Let's think. But when I saw that, okay, it was after the second, I wasn't on my phone then, so she continued. After like an hour, she continued, would you be open to a closed-door negotiation involving you, your husband, and Senator Akpabio to bring a resolution to this matter if it comes to that? If so, where would you prefer such a meeting to take place? Sometimes strategic negotiations are necessary to untangle complex situations. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. She was still pushing me, presenting herself as a mediator, as all of that. Mind you, she has told me she was a professor of psychology or human psychology. So I know that hard word, psychology or sociology. I know she was a professor of one of them. So at that point, I paused and I called my friend. Before responding to her, I called Ina. And I said, Ina, she mentioned something about a contract. Is that did you have that conversation with her? He said no, that he only told her that I was going to call her to appreciate her and have like a girly chat. And I was like, okay, but she's asking for a contract. And she's asking how I was going to support her team. And I was like, okay. He said I should ignore that he never met. I said, but did you ask her about a media appearance? He said, yeah, because she was writing so well. So he thought she might want to appear on a TV station, maybe channels or AIT or Arise, and speak about her concerns because she had written previously that she was also a victim of sexual harassment and her daughter also. So maybe she wanted to learn the vote. That was all. He didn't ask that it's going to be paid or anything. So that was where I now responded. Please just show my response. You can see I refer to her as their professor, not just Sandra or something. I thought I was speaking to a professor. So here I responded, dear professor, I have had to read your message times over, and I am not comfortable going contractual. My friend Ina probably connected with you on the passion he saw you speak against the injustice meted against me. While I continue to count on your kindness, which I trust will, amidst others, snowball into justice for women everywhere. However, if you stop chatting our cause, know I still deeply appreciate your sisterhood spirit, and whenever I return to the Senate or wherever I find myself, know you have a friend and a cheerleader in me, love. That's to show you from this. I made her understand that I wasn't going into any contract. I only called her to appreciate her because of what she's been doing. And our conversation was not in any way in furtherance of an activity, not to talk of an illicit activity. From here, you can tell. And mind you, I have downloaded all of this whole conversation, and I've sent it in a digital form as well as printed these messages to all the security agencies in Nigeria. I'm actually surprised. That's why I say that the police never looked into this. Instead, they are listing her as a witness against me over a criminal defamation, someone that was poaching me for a contract that I said no. I'm actually surprised the Senate president fell for this scam, because he would have been smart enough to say, no, you know what, I'm not in. Because at the end of the day, I didn't think there was a reason for me to pay anybody. Everybody who has spoken, I never paid anybody anything to speak up. I've watched people across our platform, even people from Labour Party, even many APC members themselves who stood up and say, you know what, They are APC, but they stand for Natasha against sexual harassment. I didn't have to pay anybody. So let's continue. Go back again. So you can see from here, I clearly told her that while I'll continue counting, that I wasn't ready to engage her contractually, that I would trust that she will continue advocating. But even if she stops because there's no contract, it is fine. I appreciate what she's done before, and she should know that I have the sisterhood bond with her. But that didn't go down well with Sandra. Sandra, as she is now, Professor Mbeke, as I thought she was. So she continued, "Dear Senator, I appreciate your message and the sincerity behind it. Let me make one thing absolute clear. There is nothing contractual or monetary about officially engaging me to handle what I have already been doing voluntarily. Please explain that to me as a lawyer."
I'm so sorry.
Yes, okay. Explain that to me. At that point, she's trying to wind my intelligence. No, still go back. Okay, I'm trying to wind my intelligence that I should go ahead, that engaging her in writing contractually does not amount to monetary. And I'm so glad I didn't do that, because I bet you, even if I had say, I'm trying to understand the nature of the contract. Yes, dear Professor Mbeke, I engage you to mediate in me and blah, blah, blah. This lady would have slapped me with a bill of $500,000 or $1 million. Only God knows if she had that. But immediately I sensed it when she was playing that a contract everybody knows a contract will amount to remuneration at the end of the day. So here she said, there is nothing contractual or monetary about officially engaging me to handle what I've already been doing voluntarily without even needing to discuss it with you first. My work in addressing injustice has never been about personal gains, but about clarity, coordination, and commitment to the cause. Formalizing an engagement is not about transactions. It's about ensuring proper communication alignment and efficiency in tackling the very issues we are fighting. Again, you will see, this is a woman who came up to say, my deleted messages were all about destroying the government, destroying the Senate president, doing all of those things. Nigerians, I know we're very smart people. You can tell here that if indeed I spoke to her about paying people or about destroying the government or offering her 200 million to blackmail the Senate president into some murder, you would have seen that in the conversation. But here she was putting herself as a mediator, seeking an engagement for her to continue what she said she has been doing voluntarily. And what was she doing voluntarily prior to this was advocating for women against sexual harassment. So our conversation was on sexual harassment, and never did I tell her there was no sexual harassment. So that's it. Again, she said, regardless of where this part leads, that's the last paragraph. Okay, no. Hold on. Before then, I skipped one part. I respect your stance, even if I believe that a structured approach would have made things smoother and more effective. That said, I will continue to do what I'm known for, standing against injustice and misinformation, adhering to facts, and maneuvering sensitive matters with a critical but fair lens. My stance is independent, and I take full responsibility for my actions. How you choose to engage with that is entirely up to me. That's up to you. Regardless of where this path leads, I know that my fight is not for individuals alone, but for the larger cause of justice and truth. I value the connection we built. And whether or not I continue to chat this particular cause, which is of sexual harassment, I will always stand where integrity and justice demands. She wrote that. After, I didn't respond, but I read it. But after 7 minutes or so, she wrote again. I don't think this is the right path for me. I thrive best when I operate independently, guided by my principles and convictions. At the end of the day, all that matters is achieving a just and positive outcome, and that remains my ultimate hope. So at that point, I was like, you know what, let me just end this, because I already began to feel very uneasy. So I now wrote to her, and this was my last message to Sandra, or Professor Mbeke then, as I thought she was. I wrote, Madam, I respect your independent views. Maybe we can forget we interacted. I will caution my friend Ina, my friend who connected us, to guard his heart in seeking help. God bless us. God, that was my message. Look, from here you could tell that this was the same day. All this conversation was just one day, 27th of March.
So you guys only
2025.
spoke once?
Only once. And the only time I spoke with her, 37 minutes. If you scroll back, you will see 37 minutes. It was nothing controversial. It was, we even ended it by saying at the end of all of this, we're going to join forces, her in America with her network, and myself in Nigeria with my experience and her experience, how we're going to create safe spaces for women. I did mention to her that I noticed that the Senate rules was silent on sexual harassment and on how to resolve matters among senators. I also told her that I had received lots of calls from women in NNPC, in other organizations, in banks where they were sexually harassed and demanded sexual favors before their promotions. I told her that, look, I think Nigerians, public and private spaces need to have the sexual harassment codes. And that is something we would work together with her experience as an international figure, which I thought she was. I didn't know that she's not even a professor. I didn't know that she's not even a doctor. You know, it's later on I got to know. So that was our conversation. It wasn't what is being painted. So even you've seen, like, look at it. At this, my second message to her was, Madam, I respect your independent views, because she had mentioned several times she works independently, she works. And I was like, there was no way I was going to engage her. There was no way we're talking about mediation. Our matter at that point was still at the ethics committee level. And this was before the presidential panel was set up. So I said, maybe we can forget we interacted. At that point, I was like, I don't even want to have any conversation with you. So if, as she said, that I engaged her, or I was trying to pay her 200 million to entrap the Senate president into some murder and all of that, I wouldn't have. I'm the one here that's calling. You could tell from my response, I was trying to end it with her. I wasn't having it because I had already sent. This was when I went back and I deleted all because I realized that this lady is a scam. She's probably a blackmailer. So I went back there and I deleted my credentials. That was what prompted me to delete my credentials. And I'm saying it again. Nobody can type 15 messages in 1 second, in 1 minute. 15. Not even AI. I mean, if you want to hold ChatGPT and go, ChatGPT, create a message on so. Before you get to the third one, maybe back and forth on ChatGPT, you would have, at least you would have seen the time would have gone to 12:41, 12:42, 12:45, to show that there's a sequence of timeliness. And I bet you nothing like that. It was my credentials I sent because she wanted to make a post countering what Senator Nweboin said, that I am just a pretty face. Why think that I'm the most beautiful woman in Nigeria and all of that? And I told her I didn't like the fact that I was reduced as an object. Do you understand? I wanted to be addressed as a competent technocrat, a woman who is a lawyer, who is an MBA executive, who had worked in the oil and gas sector and now joined politics. And all of this was what I was bringing to the table politically in raising the standard of leadership. That was the conversation we had. That was why I sent my credentials. Because when things turned ugly, still the same day, about 10 p.m., I knew that I had to go back to delete my credentials. And that was the last time I spoke to her. But what happened after that snowballed into her. Apparently, probably she thought she was going to entrap me into some contract, make some money from me, and she wasn't getting that. So let's continue. The next thing, she was sending me screenshots of how people were making comments, still trying to entrap me, like, Natasha, people are making comments, we need to act kind of thing. So she then wrote again, I respect your perspective, but let's approach this matter with fairness and objectivity. The pursuit of justice will never be reduced to emotional game or dismissed as distraction. If Senator Natasha claims to have evidence, I don't know whether she was sending this to me or she responded and she was letting me know what she had responded. But basically, you could see that her tone was already changing. Still the same day. This was already just a few minutes to, still the same day, about 10 something. An affidavit, while not substantial or blah, blah, blah. Let me see. Yeah, it's still a legal document that carries weight. So basically, she was just responding to somebody's message. She wrote that this has birthed unheard screams, a handbook for all our children to educate them on how to handle similar situations. And here, this word got me. At the beginning of my conversations, the woman told me she has already written a book and she has sent me a forward. If you look at that first two screenshots, she said she had written a book on heard screams and she was in the course of publishing the books. And here, later on that same night, she's telling me that this my scenario has birthed a book that she said she had written before. Now she's saying my situation had made her write a book. So at that point, I already knew that I was dealing with a psychopath. I didn't respond. And then in response to my message where I said, let's forget that we spoke, she now responded, of course, good luck. You could see it now became a monologue where she was responding. So probably she was having conversations in her head. Probably she's schizophrenic. So she then wrote, heaping more enemies through lack of understanding and arrogance, yet you have said so much. I didn't understand where that was coming from. Then she continued, you have an appalling spirit of pride, and such is certain to drag anyone it possesses into sure doom, no matter how long it takes. I read it, I didn't say anything. I called my friend. I'm like, why is this woman acting this way? It's like she's having conversations, or is she building a line of chat so to seem as if I'm speaking to her and then she's responding? So my friend told me that she was actually forwarding these same things to him too. That, oh, your friend has an appalling spirit of pride. It's not going to help her, blah, blah, blah. I didn't respond. So forward 3 days after, mind you, the first conversations that I've read happened, it was just a tough day from 10 o'clock in the morning when we spoke till about 10:43 p.m. So 3 days after, which was on Sunday, the 30th of March, she just sent this message. I had all your threats, but I have zero tolerance for such nonsense. Bring it on. I didn't speak to her. I didn't send no threats. I was minding my business. So I was surprised she wrote that. I didn't respond again. She now wrote a very long, I don't know if I wrote, a very long, this was where I knew that, okay, she was already turning against and trying to blackmail me. Made a post, I said this, I said that, and I heard that this was what she forwarded to someone who works with the Senate president, and this was how she was able to get them engage her. This was it. This was the last, when she sent this last message, that was when I blocked her. So I blocked Professor Mbeki on the 30th of March. I blocked her. I went to Facebook. I blocked her same day. I didn't converse with her on Instagram, but I searched her up, blocked her there. I can't remember if I blocked her on X, on Twitter, but I knew that at that point, I already heard so much, and I was like, you know what? All of this stuff, I was just blocking, because I knew that she was already up for blackmail, and she was probably looking for a bidder, someone who will engage her services. So that was it. You can see I blocked her that day. So Nigerians should know I spoke to a woman who impersonated herself as Professor Mbeki, not Sandra Duru. And it was an innocent conversation whereby I had to call her based on my friend's advice, a good innocent friend who thought it was wise and safe. Our conversations were not in any way along the path of destroying the government or promoting regional divide or saying that I bought a rice. Can I buy a rice? Or that I influenced FIDA or Dr. Obi with money, or Dr. Adeola of Womanifesto, nothing like that. Or I called Nigerians gullible and hungry, nothing, never, never. It was just a game, a plan to cut me off my support and set me against the president, the institutions, and the Nigerian people of whose support I've generously enjoyed by the grace of God. So this was it. This all happened March. Now let's move. In the third week of April, I received a petition from the Nigerian police under the name The Unique Family something, Unique Family, signed by Dr. Sandra Duru, accusing me of being in the know and withholding information on organ harvesting and all of this stuff, that there was a recorded conversation. And I responded to them, I didn't have any conversation with Sandra Duru. I did write that very short, one paragraph, that I'm not aware of any Sandra Duru, neither am I affiliated with any Unique Family Foundation. And that was my honest response. I think that I responded on the 27th of April, 2025. So Mario had blocked her, so I wouldn't know what she was writing. And my team know that I care a lot about safeguarding my space with positivity, because it was a whole lot going on. So they weren't bringing her conversations to me. It was after her live broadcast on the 1st of May that people are like, oh, did I speak to Sandra Duru? Did I speak to Sandra? Because Sandra is Professor Mbeki and all of these confusions. And then I went online like, oh my goodness, what is it? Oh, that's the same person. But then the Sandra Duru picture online is different from Sandra Duru, from Professor Mbeki, because she had used most of her pictures. Her pictures are all artificial intelligence generated. So basically, she's well versed and conversant with the skills of AI. And that's what she used to the best of what she was engaged for. Moving on. So that was it. And the police never got back to me that, okay, if you don't know Sandra Duru, now with this, her live, come Natasha. She said she released audios. Do you know this? Did you speak to, okay, however you know her, Professor Mbeki, did you actually mention this? I thought the police was going to invite me to attest whether that's my voice and which part of it is not, or whether they were going to subject the recordings to scrutiny. I wasn't given a chance at all. The police never invited me to speak on the content that she released. But what I'm grateful to God for is the very next day, she did release my phone number. And that's actually, I would say on one part, it's called doxing, which is part of cyberbullying. But what I would say is, even though I woke up to the next morning to over 2,000 calls, and like by the hour it's getting like, if I drop my phone, I'll just look, I'll see like 500 missed calls, 700 missed calls. I was seeing messages. Pretty much I would say that 95% of the messages I received were all in support. They were all prayers, but 5%, of course, mainly from the western part of Nigeria, which I understand. I was read story like Koni Dafwe, those who really believed that I was insulting, I was out to destroy this Yoruba government opportunity. And that's really not true. Never happened. I just hope that they will understand that that's not me, and it was all lies cooked up to set me against the people. So my husband did get me a new line and a new phone, saying that, because I also did, how you put the star hash to see whether your line is bugged, star hash 62, something like that. And I did, and I saw that my phone, even till now, is bugged. All calls forwarding, everything. So my line is bugged. I tried to cancel it with star hash 002 or something, and it failed. So, but it's okay. But I told my husband I didn't want to use a new line. I told him I was a public figure. It's okay if Nigerians have my number and reach out to me. And most importantly, I knew that whenever situations occur, in as much as people would call to insult me or harass me, I'll also receive prayers, but also I'll get hints. And that was where I started getting information. People who have victims reached out, oh, Natasha, I've been scammed by Sandra. I've been this, she has done this, she has done that. So as the goat came, I'm glad I didn't change my number. I didn't switch it off. It's still my number. So I got a lot of information. And that was for what I also 6 days after Sandra's interview, I wrote my first petition against her, itemizing everything that she said. And I called on the security agencies to investigate. That was when I also submitted the chats. And like this lady was actually, I called her to appreciate her. She misrepresented herself. She then asked for a contract and asked how I was going to support her team in whatever she wanted to do as a mediator. And then for her to, not only for her to come up, when she saw that she couldn't lure me to a contract, she then went against me, cooking up all these malicious lies. So I did forward all of those to the police, but they never investigated. And I did, after Frances, first let me appreciate Frances Obonaya and Mr. Obina. I don't know, I've forgotten his surname. And the American Mr. David as well. Thank you all for speaking up. I heard that there are many more victims who are shy of speaking up. I thank you for standing up for truth. And I do sympathize with Mr. Obina and his family, because I'm aware that a week ago, over a week, he was on the orders of the Inspector General of Police. Unfortunately, he was picked up from his home at 3 a.m., right in front of his children and his wife, for no just reason. And he was moved to Abuja and has been locked up since then. And it's unfortunate because this is a primary witness. If the police actually wants to do a diligent job, based on my petitions, this is someone who has come up to attest to the role that he was paid to play, and that he pulled out of the engagement when he realized that the plot was getting darker, if I'm to use his words. He said he saw the plot was getting darker and unholy, and there was a plan to jail me. Is that not what is happening now? This is exactly what Obina spoke about. And that was why he pulled out, because he said even the audio that she sent to him, which she didn't know whether was real, that there was nothing about me destroying the government or paying 200 million to blackmail Akpabio or anything. So he pulled out. So I thought the police was going to invite Obina as a primary witness and take his statements. Instead, they've locked him up. So that is witch hunting and suppressing someone who would potentially be my witness. And I want Nigerians to know that they should join voices to call on for Obina's freedom. What the police is doing is wrong. I'm saying this categorically clear. The Inspector General of Police, I did see your number, your name appear on Sandra's call log during her live stream. And it's unfortunate that the woman who I'm told has quite a file with the police, a file with DSS on activities she has, illicit activities she has committed against Nigerian men, blackmailing them, sextorting them. You would actually converse with such a person. Well, you're the Inspector General of Police. I believe you're answerable to all Nigerians. But I hope that you will find courage to diligently investigate all my petitions. And I'm actually wondering how the Inspector General of Police is going to investigate it now that these two people, or the three people, including Yaya Bello, actually all are listed in my petitions. So how are you going to investigate that when you have already written me off and condemned me to the courts to be jailed, probably? Let's talk about Governor Yaya Bello. Right from when I joined politics in 2018 till my 2019 election, I've written several petitions, I believe over 15 petitions, from threat to my life to the killings of my supporters. Over 20 people have been killed. Their names, pictures, more than 100, should I say, sustained injuries, gunshots. I mean, I tried as much as possible to visualize the story of my campaign in 2018, 2019, when as an SDP. The SDP office was burnt down. My grandfather's house was burnt. A lot of evil happened. Petitions I wrote. Till date, the police never attended to one single petition. I survived 2 accidents. One, that my vehicle was tampered with when I visited Kogi. It's the grace of God that I'm alive. A day to the 2023 elections. A day to the 2023 elections. I'm coming. Give me a minute, huh?
Thank you for your patience, guys. I'm gonna run this up as soon as she comes back. Thank you.
Saw how Yaya Bello
I
dug up
muted
road.
you. I just unmuted you, so go ahead.
So a day to the 2023 elections in February, we all saw how Yaya Bello ordered that the roads around my community would be cut off, dug off, so as to prevent campaign materials from reaching. But people don't know that it wasn't just to prevent materials from getting to me. It was also to entrap me and set me up for danger. People don't know that 3 days before the election, a bomb went off just 10 minutes away from my home. A lot happened. Even though we didn't speak of it, we put them down in petitions to the Inspector General of Police. Even though he wasn't, this gentleman, IGP Kayode, wasn't the Inspector General of Police, but it's the same institution. I believe once a petition has been laid, whether the people manning the office change hands, it's still the duty of the institution to investigate the several petitions and to hold people accountable. But it's unfortunate that Yaya Bello has not been made to face the law, irrespective of the many murders that happened, the many attacks that happened to the people of my constituency. And I still stand by my word. On the 14th of March, 2025, Senator Asukwo drove Yahaya Bello from Hilton Hotel to Akpabio's residence. And that was where they planned my recall and they planned to assassinate me. And that the assassination should happen in Kogi State, not in Abuja, so that fingers will not point at it. To me, I've spoken. It's left for them to investigate. It's left for the police to investigate. And the nature of this, the way things have taken a turn whereby I am now facing criminal charges. And I will tell people every week, there's no week that passes without Senator Karimi, Senator Sunday Karimi, the senator from Kogi West. There's no week since this whole thing started that Senator Karimi has not taken it upon himself to remind me in our Northern Senators Forum of the need for me to pack my bags and go to jail. Like, that is Senator Karimi's message. He would himself and Senator Zam from Benue, I don't know whether it's Benue Central or whatever. They were just right there. Even yesterday, both of them in the Senate WhatsApp group, they reminded me of the need for me to pack my bags and go to jail. So it's unfortunate that in all of this, simply because I spoke up of sexual harassment, which I still stand, even though some people, over 20 different individuals whom I respect greatly, have reached out to mediate. Even a number of African women parliamentarians also reached out. They came visiting from Gambia, Liberia, Benin Republic. A number of them came, and others trying to mediate. But the message that always came from the Senate president, because what happens is they will come to me, speak to me, go to the Senate president, speak to him, and try to have a common ground. So their condition, they were like, we've met with the Senate president, but he says I must retract my statements of sexual harassment and apologize on the floor. That has always been his stand. Like, that is a window. Even if you look at I think I did send you the resolution from the committee on my suspension. You will see there, item 2, that if Natasha is given if she apologizes in writing, that I'll be recalled back. So I've been told also that Natasha, don't be stubborn. Other senators who were suspended, Senator Aline Dume apologized and he was recalled back.
It was made public.
Senator Ningi also apologized. But I tell them, all of these people who have come, I said, I appreciate your efforts in trying to mediate. I'm all for peace. And I respect the Nigerian Senate. I respect all the institutions. And I'm not pretty much a troublemaker. But you see, on this matter of sexual harassment, I'm not apologizing. And I also would take time to educate each and every one of them that I did not break the Senate rules on change of seat. That I also showed them the chart. I forgot to send it to you. Where I was sitting, there's a way in which our names are positioned along each seat, and it will be circulated to us in the Senate WhatsApp group. So everybody will know where they sit, and people are usually given chances and opportunity to explain why they don't want to sit here or they want to sit with their friends and all that. So I said, I just walked into work that morning only for me to be told by staff that my seat was changed unceremoniously. And even though they said I wasn't the only one whose seat was changed, but why did they move someone else to the seat where the cameras were cut off? I said that was a deliberate attempt to cut me off visibility. And also, I did mention to them that if you look at it, my outburst, for those of them who feel my outburst aggravated my suspension, the first person who broke the rule was the Senate President. When I started reading Order 10 on privileges, he should have allowed me finish up, and he would have invited me to his desk, or he would have put it to question, or say, Natasha, you know what? I have heard you, but today sit there and we would review it. No, what did he do? Right in the middle of me reading my order of privilege, he called for the chamber staff to take me out and to prepare for my suspension. So I said, no matter what befalls me, I will not apologize because I have done no wrong. I am not apologizing for refusing to move my seat to the seat that I was verbally assigned, not properly notified in writing, and not given a chance to argue or to debate why I would like to retain my seat. I would also not apologize for speaking up on sexual harassment. Apologizing for sexual harassment means everything I've said is a lie. And then thinking about it, that means no other woman who faces the same ill will be able to speak up tomorrow. And that is like upholding the culture of harassment, upholding the culture of fear and intimidation. And even though today is the 84th day that I've been out of the chambers, I really miss representing my people. But also, on the greater scale of things, I've always identified myself as a political reformer than a politician, primarily because I believe that the Nigerian political space needs to be reformed. And I have put myself out there right from the nature of my elections and how I've interacted with Nigerian people through social media, narrating my ordeals, my victories, and all. I want people to look at my life and say, okay, this is what politics really is. If Natasha is going through this, that means it's not all rosy, but how can we use her narrative, her experiences to strengthen the ecosystem in politics in Nigeria and in turn raise the standard of leadership? So I don't know what will befall me on the 3rd, but I'm arriving in Nigeria and I will be there in court to face these charges. And I trust that the judiciary will accord me a fair chance to explain what truly happened. If all of these utterances that they say I made were real, fine, I'll face the law. But if not, then all of those who have ganged up to defame me, to criminalize me, should also face the law. That's my stand. I have heard them boasting that on that day, I'll be sent to prison, there'll be no bail. All well and good. The president himself, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has been jailed before. Nelson Mandela too, and many other great people. So if this is the prize of politics, then I'll wear it as a badge of honor. But I want Nigerians to know that I'm persecuted right now. And this whole issue of Sandra Duru or Professor Mbeke, like I said, I am going to the end of this. I will not, no one can just come up and cook up stories and think that they will malign me or destroy me, no. And I am strong, and I'll continue counting on the support of Nigerians. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate the prayers. And yes, I'm not afraid of what will happen, even though I'm concerned that the whole federal government, as a body, as a sovereign entity, will reduce itself to use taxpayers' money to further witch hunt an individual who doesn't have a track record of no criminality. I have never been arrested by the police. I have never been charged to court for anything wrong, illegal. I am also aware that in the course of this whole happenstance, that they were digging up to find out whether they could initiate an EFCC case against me, maybe for embezzlement of funds, but they found me clean. And I'm so proud. I never, in the course of me running the committee, tasked or harassed any of the companies under my watch then, or any minister or anything for anything. There was nothing. I do not have any case. And it's funny, ironically, that the same individuals who have tons of petitions against them, even proven ones, right in EFCC, are the same people who have ganged up against a woman of clean character. And for those who think that they could scandalize me because of my past marriages, listen, yes, I've been married twice before my husband now. And I tell you, no one knows the reason why my marriage ended. And my husband is calling me. I'm sure he doesn't want me to speak on this.
Okay,
But it's okay. Let me just say this. Let me round up. No one knows the reason why my previous marriages ended. But I would just say I'm a survivor. And I have a good understanding relationship with my first husband is dead. He died years back. And my second, I have a good relationship with him and the kids. And as a matter of fact, in the course of my elections, his family supported me greatly. And because he's from Okene local government, and his family supported me. So if I was a bad person, then I don't think I'll be lucky enough to have a man as good as my husband now. And I love him dearly. I support him. Alema of Warrior Kingdom. Hi, Chief Emmanuel Udua. I love you dearly. Thank you so much. I know it's not been easy. Even times when I thought this was too much. I remember some days I'll just tell him, my love, I'm so sorry. Because I just feel guilty sometimes that maybe I should have stayed quiet. There are times when I've had these thoughts, yes, that maybe I shouldn't have spoken up. Maybe he would have still had a blossom relationship with the Senate president. But I did hold it. He appreciated me and he said, Natasha, you did no wrong. It's good you spoke up. It's good I know who my friends are. And I didn't soil nothing. But he's been of great support for me and the children. Thank you so much for those. My kids will come to me and say, Mom, whatever we read online doesn't define you. And yeah, Adeola, you too, thank you for opening your platform. I do appreciate. And I'm sorry for the insults. I've seen people say, oh, I paid you. I can't. How will I? Like, there's no value to this. And yeah, thank you so much for all the goodwill. Thank you for this platform.
Thank you,
for the
Senator,
opportunity.
for for opening up and coming on the show and addressing all these things. Also, thank you for saying you didn't pay me. I don't know why anybody in their right senses would think
I read that somewhere in some comments. I think it was on
collect money from anybody. I have never collected any money. I've never collected money from anybody to feature them on my show or to talk about their story. So I never respond to things like that because who has time? But I'm glad that you talked about it. So I have a number of concerns, and then I'm going to take questions from the people because I promised them that I will take questions from people. So my first concern is, first and foremost, what can we do about Obina, who is still in prison? The second concern is you said that you're going to appear in court. So we are concerned about your safety. What day are you arriving in Nigeria? Because if we don't hear from you, we want you to be able to text, to tweet or something that I am safely in my home. We don't want a situation where you'll be picked up at the airport. What day are you arriving in Nigeria? You don't need to tell us the time, but we will be looking at the clock. If we don't hear from, if we don't get a tweet from you by maybe Monday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon or something, we just want to be able to follow you bumper to bumper as Nigerians who are worried about your safety. So number one, what can we do about Obina that is still being detained? And number two, what day are you arriving in Nigeria, and do you promise to tweet or something, carry us along on your social media platforms that I have safely arrived in Nigeria, or I'm on my way to Nigeria or something, just so that if we don't hear from you, we will know if you've been picked up at the airport, because we don't want that kind of situation.
Okay. I have also heard first that the moment I arrive in Nigeria, my passport will be seized to prevent me from traveling, more like in a bid to restrict my movement. I don't know, that's a rumor. I hope that's not going to happen, because, I mean, it's not like I've skipped any arraignments. It's not like I'm on the wanted list. So I will present myself. Like I said, right now I'm in London. I will present myself on the 3rd. I hope to be in Nigeria, if not the 1st, the 2nd latest. Or maybe very early in the morning on the 3rd, and then go straight to court. Because there is a British Airways flight on the night of on the 2nd. That means I'll fly overnight and arrive on the, whatever it is, I'll let you know. But just know that I also have concerns of my safety. If I'm going to court, will I be protected? I know there, you know how, where was I? I think I saw something on the news somewhere where somebody was shot at the court. It was international news. I don't know if you saw it. It was recent, like, was it in the States or somewhere? And I saw it. Somebody was going to court and was shot at the entrance of the court. So my mind was like, oh my goodness, what if this happens to me? But you know what? I'm just going to be courageous and trust that no harm will come to me. Yeah, I'll arrive in Nigeria. I'll promise to keep you informed. I will make tweets. Yes. I'm not that active on Twitter, but I'm
Nigerians want me to tell you, don't eat anything, or don't drink anything, or because...
No, if I'm perchance... I don't know why my husband keeps calling me. Sorry, let me take this call. Maybe he wants to tell me something.
Okay, so this is the time. I'm going to mute you.
Just hold on. It's important. Let me just take this.
I'm muting you. So if you have any questions for the senator, this is the time to ask. I'm going to start taking questions from the comments section. Please don't abuse anyone. Although I've seen a number of people abusing people, that's okay. Every time that I've talked about Sandra Duru, by the way, just so people know, I would see some YouTube accounts that was literally created after my video was uploaded, and they will have like,
what are you saying?
Okay, and then I will see them putting up like 50 comments from one account. So it's okay. There are a lot of fake accounts. Some people believe that Sandra Duru is creating fake accounts. I don't know, allegedly, you know. So please, if anybody is abusing someone, just ignore them. But if you have genuine question for the senator, you can put it in the comment section. If you are asking about something that she has already addressed in the last 2 hours, I will not pick it. Some people are asking about Reno Mercury. She addressed that extensively. So I will not be picking that. But if you have genuine questions, please ask, and then I will put it on the screen. Go ahead, Senator.
Yeah, I thought I finished it. That I'm more active on Facebook and Instagram. I will try to be more active on Twitter, but I'll definitely let Nigerians know, okay, maybe in the morning when I'm going to court. But also, just in case, because I know that it's been fixed for 2 p.m. I wish it was earlier. So if our hearing is 2 p.m. and then I don't know whatever bail conditions will be set. So I hope I'll be able to meet the bail conditions. But maybe I'm thinking maybe it was fixed for 2 p.m. so that I will not meet in bail conditions. But whatever it is, if they say that if locking me up is going to give them any joy, then fine. Of course, if I go in there, I won't eat, I won't drink because I won't trust anything. I mean, I know how, Abiola died and other things. I mean, but whatever it is, I would, yeah, I'm not going to be broken. This won't break me. It just makes me stronger. And like I said, I'm glad that Nigerians are observing how I'm being persecuted. I mean, how things snowballed from sexual harassment to recall, a fraudulent recall that failed. And when I was going to Kogi State, how a circular from the state government was up there preventing vehicular movements, convoys into Kogi, and water activities. But then I had to go in using the helicopter. So all of these intimidations are out there to the full glaring of the world. I won't be broken, but I hope to get justice at the end of the day.
Awesome. So I'm going to start taking some comments as well as questions. Please, guys, if you're watching and you're here to subscribe to my channel, help my market as well. See, I have done well for you guys. I brought your senator. Woo, father. Click the subscribe button. It is free. And the only reason I ask you to subscribe is just so you know when I upload a new video. That is why I ask you to subscribe. So if you are here to subscribe to my channel, you are enjoying me. So press the subscribe button, help our market. So this is from David, and he's saying that what's the relationship between your husband and the Senate president? And is there any hope for peace in the future? Now, while he's asking that, I want to add a quick question. Are you going to, some people have been saying that, why don't you take the offer of settling outside court, or just come to some kind of peace agreement? Would you be willing to do that? And if you should do that, what hope is there for regular Nigerian women that don't have any influence? So 3 questions in one, starting with David's question.
Okay.
Just make it quick.
David Sikpa, what's your relationship with your husband and the Senate president now? Any hope for peace in the future? I would say that the relationship pretty much is frayed. But again, I think the easiest part here, if we're going to talk about peace for the future, it's about honesty and accountability. Whichever party is wrong owes the other party that's offended an honest acknowledgement of the actions and seeking apology. Mind you, our situation is intertwined in the fact that there is a relationship between the families at first. And then there was a relationship between my husband and the Senate president way before he became a Senate president. There's also the work relationship of us being colleagues. So on different levels, it's me speaking up at first because the environment was very unconducive for me because of the activities of the Senate president. But then again, there is his friend who feels betrayed, or the bro code, whereby you don't cross my woman. So that's the other part of it. However they resolve it depends on them. But for me, the bigger picture of what I represent, this is beyond Natasha as an individual, as the many women running into millions who connect with me on this same story of being sexually harassed and deprived of chances of growth and opportunities to flourish, either in the corporate space, private business, whatever it is, or schools. Sexual harassment is real. And I think it's one of the most illicit social vice that people don't speak about because of our cultural norms, or because the moment a woman speaks about sexual harassment, she's already made to wear the garment of guilt and blame. I would want this. You've asked whether there's a chance for mediation.
Yeah, is there?
I haven't thought about that, not because I don't want peace, but the first thing I would want is, even if there's going to be a mediation, I would want a chance to present my evidence and to speak. I wouldn't want a mediation whereby don't speak, stay silent, just shake hands. No, I don't want that. And whatever it is, at the end of the day, there's still going to be the accountability whereby someone should be accountable for his actions. And if at the end of the day, I'm the one that is wrong, then I'll be accountable for my own actions too. Do you understand my point? But there has to be a place whereby one will tender her evidence and say, this is what I have been made to suffer.
Okay.
And I want Nigerians to know this. From as many people that have wondered at how antagonizing this whole thing has been, in just a short, in 84 days, there was a suspension, there was the recall that we survived. I'm aware that there is still plan for another recall. I'm aware of that too, that probably this whole scenario will make people lose trust in me and will say, okay, you know what, let's still recall her. But I'm grateful for the support I have in my constituents. They've been stronger than ever, praying for me, supporting me. And whatever it is, like I said, that will happen, I just don't want to be silenced totally. I would want to still have a chance to speak my truth. At the end of the day, there should be accountability before whether any mediation will happen.
Thank you for answering that. So real quick, a lot of people are really interested in this hearing on Tuesday, the 3rd. People are asking, where is the court sitting? Because I guess some people want to come. Also, someone is asking, Adeboye Balogun, is it possible to bring in foreign observers, journalists, and human rights bodies internationally? Is it also open to the public? Can people come? And Lolo Lady Million is also saying, please let us all assemble at the court on the 3rd to support, she wrote, President Natasha, by the way. So if if anybody is trying to show up in court on that day, is it open to the public? Where is it taking place?
Yes, I've just sent you the notice of hearing. Actually, maybe you can put it up, the form 2, which is...
Okay. So people can come.
Yes, people can come.
Okay.
People can come. It's there. I know it's 2 p.m. on the 3rd at the High Court of the FCT. Okay. I don't know which room in particular. Okay, High Court 8. It's there. Can you please put up what I've sent to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up. So if you're interested in coming, please, this is where you should come if you want to be there live and direct. You can take a screenshot of this document right now if you want to come.
High Court 8, Maitama, Abuja.
It's happening in Maitama on Tuesday. The 3rd is Tuesday. Maitama, Abuja, 2 p.m. And feel free to come. It's the High Court number 8. High Court number 8 in Maitama, Abuja at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, the 3rd of June. So I'm going to take the next question real quick. A number of people, actually, not just this person, have been asking, do you have to appear physically? Can't you do this on Zoom? Let me see who else asked that question. This is Theodora Ismail. Can you not appear on a video call? I don't think you should appear in person. Please insist on a video appearance. Is this an option? I guess
it's not an option, unfortunately.
It's not.
Because if I don't appear, then I would be listed as a wanted person, and I think I could be charged as a fugitive or so. I have to be there in person.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be there in person.
Okay. So
and I intend to attend as many hearings as possible. I will be there in person. So I think it's okay.
Okay, so guys, if you're interested in this court, if you live in Abuja, you want to be there, take a screenshot. I've left it on the screen for this long just so that you could take a screenshot. Real quick, someone is asking, what makes you so bold and fearless? A lot of Nigerian women especially would like to know.
I think, should I say part of it is how I was born, it's my nature. It's just how I was born. I'm very careful in choosing a particular task. So I usually apply the 20/80 rule, which is 80% of the time I think through, is this worth it? What I'm about to do, does it make sense? And do I have the tenacity and courage to wait through? So when I've thought that 80% of my time and energy, then the remaining 20 is execute. So once I start something, I just give it my all usually. And that was it. So it's what played out in politics, right from when I was in SDP in 2018, 2019, and then in 2023. It took a while for me to decide, Natasha, what you're about to go in against all odds. Will you give up or you will hold on to the end? And that was what I did. And the same thing with this. Before I spoke up, I sat with my husband and I told him, I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I think it's about time I speak up. And that's it. Even though there are times when I was a bit shaky, I'm human, you know, and I kind of pulse the situation. But at the end of the day, giving up on something that I think is worthy and good and honest, it's not part of it. It's giving up isn't. Not like I'm going out there to fight or antagonize or destroy anyone, no, but I always like, give me a chance as a citizen to play my own part without intimidation and harassment. And I think we need to have more people, whether women or men, we need to have more people who are bold and fearless, because that's what Nigeria needs, more people who are bold and fearless to stand against the odds and the ills.
Thank you so much for addressing that. I'm rounding up. Did you tell us what we can do about Obina, who is still in detention?
Now, I do not know who his legal representatives are, but I did get a message the day he was picked up by one lady who says she was a lawyer. Of course, my number was out there, so I did receive a message that Obina has been picked up, and then he was being taken to the Imo command, police command. I think the only thing we need to do now, maybe I could ask my lawyers to check in on him to see what we could do, but I think we just need to create awareness. We need to let people know that Obina is being detained illegally, and I don't think there are any charges against him because he's not committed any offense other than speaking up of the role he was engaged by Sandra and the fact that he did mention number 3, which is the Senate President, as being a potential sponsor. Adeola, there's also an audio I sent to you. I think you probably forgot to play that audio between Frances and a particular gentleman named Peter that was sent to me. I did send to you where she mentioned that Sandra recorded, I had a conversation with the Senate President and she played the Senate President's voice to Frances to prove that the Senate President was really involved. I think I sent that. You probably forgot to play it.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to. It's very important. That audio is very important. Yeah. I've not seen it anywhere.
Okay, I will publish it like on its own. But I also wanted to just take just a couple of questions. Sorry, guys, if I didn't pick your question.
Because she also, in that, why that audio is important, that she also mentioned that there were chats between Sandra Duru and SAN Olisa Bakoba, which she forwarded to Frances. That audio is very important, that there were chats, messages between, communication between Olisa Bakoba and Sandra, and that the Senate President flew her from America to meet with him in London while he was in London.
That the Senate President flew Sandra Duru
from America, that she met with the Senate President in London. That is very important, and that's where they had the plan. And then that audio is very important. You need to find a way to release that audio. I know it's 22 minutes long, and it was a willing conversation between Frances and Peter Kalu, I think that's his name. Yeah, and that yeah, it's very important you put that audio out.
Okay, so real quick though, People are asking what's your message for average Nigerian. I feel like you touched on that when you talk about why you're brave. Someone was asking when your suspension will be over. We do not know for now. Someone also asked if your lawyers will go with you. Of course, her lawyers will go with her. But I'm going to end on, there are a number of questions like this. Is Nigeria worth all this stress? Some people want to know. This person is asking, Michael Ahungwa, would you give up on politics or would you go ahead to run for governor of Kogi? We need you in Nigerian politics. But just to summarize this, people want to know, after going through all this, are you still
Is it
interested in
worth it?
politics? Is
Yeah.
it worth it? Oh, by the way, shout out to everybody that gave me money. Some people donated money on YouTube as they are watching. BPD gave me £1, or is it €1? Red Bunny Classic gave me $2. I am very grateful. I do not take this for granted. Let me put it out there. Texas Craft gave me 300 naira, and Adekule Sanyaolu gave me 400 naira. Thank you. Shout out. Okay, are you going to give up on politics after all this, and or what?
Okay, let me start with saying this. Fighting for Nigeria is worth it. That's the only country we have. And if you look at the wake of international politics now, where there's nationalization of policies, America is trying to make a strong America for Americans. The same thing with France, Canada, UK. You see, they're changing their foreign policies to promote national interests. So there is no better time than to fight for Nigeria. I mean, Nigeria is such a great country. We're blessed with abundant resources. We've always heard Nigeria has abundant resources. We are too rich to be poor, and all of this rhetorics. But it's when we have courageous, competent, honest leaders that we'll be able to shape institutions which will in turn create a better socio-political and socio-economic space for a greater Nigeria. So what I'm doing, my efforts, me standing against the odds, standing against this persecution, standing against the institutions that are struggling to be better, I think this is just one pivotal act in the bigger narrative of making Nigeria better. And if we can have more people like me, I'm now on sexual harassment and against, all the other odds. We have somebody else doing something else in the agricultural sector, in the healthcare sector, and all. Holistically together, uniformly, we can shape Nigeria to be better. But it takes people who are willing to sacrifice themselves. And then now brings us again, as I'm putting myself as a sacrificial lamb, what is my fate in politics? As at today, I always believe in the power of now. So I usually apply and live for the moment. I trust my tomorrow in God's hands. And if God gives me life, and by God's grace, my people, which of course, beyond Kogi Central, Kogi State, and Nigeria at large, still find usefulness in me, then I would still stay in. Because my intention, what I actually planned with my husband, of course, whatever I do, I'm sorry I have to mention him, because as a woman, it's very important that I consider the whole, the scope of a man's involvement in politics is different from a woman, right? So everything I do, I have to speak. So I had actually even told my husband that by 2027, my goal will be to identify 3 Nigerian women who I would support across party lines. Once they're competent, then I would put my support, whether they're in my party or any other party, but ensure that I provide adequate funding, adequate awareness, and support for them to win and emerge as political players, either in the National Assembly or in the State House of Assembly. That is what I said. It doesn't have to be in Kogi State. If I find someone competent in Kanu or in Abia State or in Edo State, I will support that woman. That was a pledge I put to myself because I found that was what was missing. You see, one thing about men, the reason why it's not enough to have a legislation passed for women. Like, I appreciate the role that women are playing now. I've seen before, while I was even in the Senate there, Senator Ireti, other women there, we've attended a number of events supported by even the embassies, that we should call for a greater participation of women either through affirmative action, reserved seats and all. But it's not enough to have this legislation. Women need support. You see, in the National Assembly, you have men who support men, whether you call it godfathers or whatever. I don't believe in godfatherism. But men, it's easier for men to find another man wedging money and supporting him either with campaign materials or in the course of things or buying forms. We have senators whose forms were bought by other men, but women don't have this. So I told myself, I made the personal pledge that by 2027, and I still stand by it, whether I'm suspended till then or not, I will identify 3 women across Nigeria, irrespective whether you're my party or not, as long as I resonate with your ideals as an individual and the leader that you project to be, then I will support you. I will put money for you. I will help you get campaign materials. I will walk and campaign with you. I will create moments, go to your state and share my network of support with you to ensure that the woman wins. Because the moment I do this for 3 women who I pray will be emerge successful, and these 3 women also are tasked to create their own web of support, before you know it, in the next 10, 20 years, this is long-term things, we would have more women supporting women in real time. Awesome. And that's what I think. For that alone, I think I would, like I say, if my people call on me or if Nigerians call on me, then I will support. I will continue staying in politics.
Okay, I'm just reading 2 comments real quick. First of all, this person says we should make sure that we appreciate your husband before we end this. So, Esa, in case you are watching, thank you so much for who you are. Nigerians appreciate you. Falola Opeyemi says that he's a rare man, to find a man that will stand with his wife.
I tell you.
At a time like this, and I just want him to know that we truly appreciate him. And the very last thing that I'm reading is from Osas. Thank you so much. And this person is saying, how will you celebrate your victory? At the last line, they're asking, when you win, how will you celebrate your victory? That is when we'll end this show today.
Do you know that first, let's start with appreciating my husband. Alema, thank you so much. You know, honestly, I don't even know how to appreciate him, because I usually have a lot of gratitude in my heart, much more than what I say. And maybe that's why people look at me and think, oh, she's arrogant, or I'm not so expressive. I think that's the introverted part of me. People don't know I'm actually an introvert. So I think more and more of a thinker. I can think a million things and then just say thank you. Or I just have limited words of expressing myself. But my husband knows that I do appreciate him greatly. It's been a lot of attack on our marriage, on what we stand for, but it has only made us stronger. In short, he really won. This is the longest I've been away from him, traveling out. We always travel out together. We're Bonnie and Clyde. So this is our first time of me leaving him this long, and he understands why I had to go to the US to make some networks, and I also had some good meetings for Nigeria as well. I was going to make a post on that, of the fantastic people I met in Trump's cabinet. Yes, Adeola. So I was able to make that, I know. So I was going to share those good deals and economic advantage for Nigeria. But beyond that, I think I would appreciate if Nigerian men can stand up to support their wives. Fathers can support their daughters. Brothers can support their sisters. In as much as we say we need more women in politics, we can't do it alone. This is an appeal to our Nigerian men. We're not trying to drag power with you. We just want you to accord us space, because some women are true-born leaders, and we need everyone's intellect to grow our country. So yeah, my husband, I think he needs to have his own masterclass on men supporting women. Okay. And then the other part is, what was the other question?
How would you celebrate your victory?
My victory. I don't know. I think, you know what? I'm actually still owing God a Thanksgiving for my victory. Like, I know that my husband's pastor in Asaba told me then during our child's dedication, he was like, after our victory, we'll have to come to the church to do a Thanksgiving. So I'm still owing Thanksgiving for that first, for even being a senator. I've not even done my Thanksgiving, but I think after this victory, I would just have a Thanksgiving ceremony and think of the lasting legacy I would want to do. Like I said, at the end of it, is to make sure that there is legislation or policies in all the corporate institutions and even private institutions on sexual harassment. That is very important because I have looked around, like the way you have it in British Airways, the way you have in the banks in the United Kingdom, and many other organizations. We don't have that in Nigeria. Sexual harassment is very silent, and we need to make it more pronounced, not because we're trying to witch hunt the men, but even men too can be sexually harassed by women bosses. Men too can be sexually harassed. It's a two-way thing. So it's not just for women. It's safeguarding the men as well as safeguarding women. But we all know that women are more vulnerable. Right from our universities to work to the National Assembly to various public and private spaces, even to individual women. Like I tell you, there's so much that happened. I don't know if you saw a report, a lady made an article a few days ago that she was forced to resign from NNPC when she was sexually harassed before the age of 40. I don't know if you saw that. Do you have like a minute, please?
Okay.
So it just shows you that people
Thank you
say
so
this, but
much.
it just, yeah.
Thank you so much. I just want to say real quick that Kickoff Time wants us to let you know that he or she loves you and that he's going to fast and pray for you.
Thank you so much.
Also, I should say that as soon as I thank the people that donated money for me on my channel, a number of people also donated money. Bumi gave me $4.99. I am very, very grateful.
Thank you, Bumi.
Gave me $2. Henry gave me $5. AB Thompson gave me $20. Thank you so much. I said today I made money because I'm interviewing the senator. Thank you so much. Red Bunny Classic gave me $5, and Cheeseoba gave me £5. I am very, very grateful to every single person that donated money. Johnson, thank you so much. Thank you, Faith Okafor, and thank you so much, Patty, and thank you so much, Iha Mauhiba. Omoye Kona, thank you so much. She gave me $20. And lastly, thank you so much, Favor, gave me $10. Thank you so much, Austin. Lastly, he's thanking me for all that I do for advocating for the truth.
Thank you so much. And lastly, Adeola, please, at the end of this, if you can just put a call for Nigerians, we need all the civil society organizations to please write a statement or put a statement or two calling on the Nigerian police to release Obinna. It's very important. Like he's just Obinna has been arrested.
So
I think 8 days now.
Should we tweet at the police?
We have to tweet.
Hashtag free Obinna, please.
Free Obinna. Apart from free Obinna, there will actually maybe like Amnesty International, Nigerian Human Rights, and many organizations should actually write to the police asking them to release this man. He should be a witness. Yes. He should have been invited to tender his evidence and write a statement in support of what he mentioned on your show. But instead, he arrested. I mean, and withheld, detained. He's not charged to court for nothing because pretty much there's nothing to be charged of. It's amazing what's going on. It's crazy. But again, like I said, here's not me condemning the entire police force. Here's not me condemning all the institutions. I do believe that we have a lot of good people there, but then we need to task them to be courageous, to do the right thing. Do you understand? So together we can all strengthen our institutions so they can be there.
So thank you so much, Senator, for coming on the show. It's been 2.5 hours. I can't believe we still have more than 8,000 people watching us on all the different platforms. Like I said earlier, if you're here to subscribe to my channel, I'm begging you, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's free. It's just for you to know when I upload a new video. And I just want to thank everybody that stayed with us for the last 2.5 hours. I truly appreciate you. I truly appreciate your patience. And thank you, Uncle Benno. I see that he also donated $20 just now. Thank you so much. So thanks to everybody that watched all the way from beginning to the end. And we will be cutting some of because it's 2.5 hours long, so we will cut this upload individual parts. The Reno part we will upload by itself because some people are still asking in the comment section. The Professor Ngbeke's part we will cut and upload by itself and all that. So I think this will put an end to all the drama that has been going on. And we will look forward to seeing your tweet about landing safely in Nigeria, getting to your home safely or getting to court safely. We'll be following this. We'll be monitoring, following you bumper to bumper. Please keep us posted. Don't leave us worried. We will be checking your social media platforms to know if you have arrived safely. And of course, we'll be following what happens on Tuesday in court. Once again, thank you so much for coming on the show. And thanks to everybody that watched this. All right, y'all.
Thank you to Nigerians. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. Those of you who can meet me in court, please turn up in your numbers. But let's be peaceful and calm and trust that the right things will be done. I still remain your Senator, Natasha.
Come one, come all on Tuesday. If you can show up, that would be wonderful. But like she said, please don't disrupt anything. We are trusting that the law will take its rightful place.
Yes.
So
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, every single one of you. All right, y'all, it's been real, and I'm keeping it up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. If you're subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace out. Bye.
Bye, Adeola.